One, two. Drumheads. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be out there in the world. Thank you for tuning in. You're here with Jace and Laddie. Laddie, how you been, mate?
How we do? How we, how you doing, Jason? How's your happy world of drumheads out there?
Yeah, we'd like to know. We,
Everything
we want
good?
to hear from you guys. We got a resounding reception from our last guest, Mr. Stephen Crichton, on our last episode. And we've got another guest for here tonight.
Right, we've got another guest for us tonight, right? But I'm going to quickly allude to the Stevie Crichton thing.
Yeah.
Stevie Crichton is, as you know, is a larger than life character, right? So he comes on the show, brilliant show, great laugh. After
we got
it,
squeezed.
we always talk to our guests after we do the interview, and then we kind of go offline with them and we have this week in a chat and we talk about things. They can relax a bit more. And I naively said, yeah, I really like your Lord Alexander Kennedy setting, by the way.
Yeah.
And he was like, right. I said, so is there any chance I could get a copy of the music? And he went, no bother, I'll send you it, right? So he sent it. He sends me the music there, right? So I'm like, nectar. I think to myself, happy days. I'll start plugging away at that. Yeah. And then he sent me a text message. He says, right, now I want you to get that off and send me a recording as soon as possible. And I'm like that. What is this? What?
As soon as possible.
What in the name of infernal challenges is this? I'm in the middle of trying to organise a pipe band, organise my own drum corps, and now I'm now in the dial to Stevie Crichton to go, that's my march that everybody knows and I know back to front. I want you to play it. I don't just want you to play it, I want you to play it the way I want to hear it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm texting him back. I said, I know, it gets worse, right? Because aye, all right then. I said, so text her back. She's like, used to Friday, at least to get my hands kind of roughly in shape. Friday comes, front of the phone camera. I must have taken 200 takes, man. I was like, no, I can't send that. No, I can't send that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't send that, right? So I'm like sweating and all that, right? So I sent it. So I sent it about, I don't know, mid-afternoon the Friday. Sure enough, return serve. Big man sends back. Right, basically, no bad. However, and then he comes out with the points. You're a dead anxious player. I was like, anxious?
What do you think?
Anxious?
What do you think that is?
Listen, terror's the word. Terror is the word. You're like that. Right, he's now got a recording of me playing that. I bet he's like to all the guys in Lawrence Tilty. Check this donut out. This is Andy Lairton's. I'm just going to check and nick him. And I'm like, so the nerves are just pulsating at me. But no, he was just good, man.
I'm glad I dodged that. I've never mentioned something like that.
Listen, to be fair, it was a good thing because he was obviously giving me pointers on how to improve it, and I will improve priceless. Maybe by the end of next year, I might get it roughly the way he's wanting it. But there's no point not getting you feedback, and I enjoyed the feedback. So thanks very much, Stevie. That was wonderful. Yeah. It was good.
Did you pull it off? Did you get a full result in the end?
I pulled it off, but I didn't pull it off very well.
Yeah, I mean, right, that's
to the point of view that I'd get. Right, so see way to score it, I would score myself 4 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm a harsh marker, mind, but I would give myself 4. I don't know what Stevie would give me, but
look,
I think he'd probably, I think maybe 5.
Good effort.
Be nice or something.
Let's leave it as a good effort.
Mate, it's a great match. Right, moving on. Talking about Marchify.
Yeah.
At the Scottish Pipe Band Championships, gave me this wee thing, right? I've not even opened it yet. I was explicitly told that this gizmo has not got a name as of yet, right? And it's because if you know that Flam 5, I call them Merchify. I still prefer my version. Somebody was on the show, Alan.
I even wonder if you actually know that it's not called Merchify.
It's like, no, it's Marchify, you fool. Anyway, so they had a fantastic 10 at the Scottish, and he's developed, because remember we were talking about the popping sound. Now, this is going to infuriate the guy, Alan, right? This wee gizmo, I think he sees it retails at 12 quid, and it's got like a lovely wee kind of Flam 5 kind of embossed thing on it, right? And it is a wee kind of magnet on it as well. Right? And what you do is, I'm using the stealth pad for demonstrational purposes. and he's going to go, where's your flam five? Where's your flam five pad, Andy? And I'll be like, I don't know. I think I gave it to Dog. Dog was round for a practice tonight. One of the drummers for the core. And he's like, no, you never gave it to me. And I'm like, who did I give that pad to? I gave somebody a shot of the pad. Whoever's got my flam five pad, put your horn up, because you've now wasted this wee segment. But maybe no, because I'm advertising the drum scores stealth pad. Yeah, but basically, look, the magnet would work, and you'd be able to put it on the step, right? And that would go on the table, right?
Okay.
I've got a table in front of me, and it would get that kind of a wee angle. So normally, instead of putting your keys under it or something like that, you've got this stable platform that you'd be able to drum on it, right? So unfortunately, I don't have the Flam 5 pad. I've only got the stealth pad at the minute.
And tell me, what's the objective of this? It amplifies the sound, or it gives it a different sound, or
it'll get a different popping sound, because so the two things that I can take away from the Flam 5 pad is people are a bit meh about the rim.
Right.
So you can take the rim off it. You know, the blue rim that goes round.
Okay.
A lot of people are like that. That's a bit kind of incumbent.
Yeah.
But if you can unscrew it and remove the rim, and then they've got this wee kind of thing now that you can add on 12. I think it's 12 quid. Right.
Very customizable. We love
can you stop seeing me, because I'm getting internet insecure to stuff. Right, so there you go. So as you be sticky pads, 12 quid. This is a question. Is it worth 12 quid? I would say aye, right? Yeah. Because a roll and sliced sausage and a cup of tea at a pipe band event will probably cost you about 25 quid. Nah, I'm only kidding. It'll probably cost you about 12 quid for a roll and slice or something at one of these places. £3 for a drink at the Scottish, as in a hot drink.
Yeah.
So let's be fair. If it gives you that, scratches that itch for you to add to the pad, why not?
If you're a connoisseur and you're doing it all the time.
Sorry, Marchify. Sorry, Marchify.
Yeah.
I've not got the pad, but look, he's getting the picture. And I'll hopefully find the person that's got the pad, and I'll get a run through online on Instagram or something. He's be able to watch it.
Good.
All right. That seems how to do it.
All right, I've got a shout out for you here.
It's just finished.
Yes, Basel Tattoo. This is Basel Tattoo stuff. So I'm going to shout out to the 5th 6th Battalion Royal Victoria Regiment, who proudly represented the Australian Army and Australia out there in the Caserne. Lovely to see them out there.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
Full pipe band kit. Not something you see going on with the Australian Army much these days. So, it's good to see them getting out there. Wish I could have been there with them and have a drink out the old cast bar.
Listen, I can't say this enough. It's my favourite tattoo today. It's absolutely amazing. Anybody gets the chance to do the Basel tattoo, embrace it with both hands. Swimming down the Rhine, great fun, great location, absolutely superb.
Great people too. Great people. I can also just say that means that if the Basel tattoo this year is over, that means I'm getting myself ready to go over next year too.
Can is there anybody want to take me there next year? Anybody watching the show, Stuart Sampson, find a way that I can go to Basel tattoo.
Please.
I'll do anything. I'll be like, I don't know, like one of the guys who go, the toilets is that way. I'll be one of the guys. Right. Let's go Braith. Right. So
big stuff.
I'm going to call Let's Go Braith. I'm going to call him the king of the kilt collectors. Right. So we'll find out that Let's Go Braith. The guys left Skye, moved to Livingston. Lo and behold, finds out a couple of days later, like a couple of days last week, Let's Go Braith, big announcement, he's going to Uddingston Pipe Band. Because another guy that's been on the show, Craig Laurie, he's gone for Uddingston Pipe Band, and he, I believe, is going to Johnston Pipe Band. So, there's a lot of, there's like a lot of kind of dancing, ebbing and flowing.
Big signing. These are like £80 million signings right in front of our eyes.
On the phone. Right, listen, I know it's like a transfer window, isn't it? And that's going to happen mega after the Worlds, which is only a few weeks' time. But what I was going to say is this: is Let's Go Braith. I spoke to him on the phone, and he said this. He wants to remind people he's not taking the whole core from Livingston. There's some guys staying at Livingston, base and tenor section, I believe, staying there, and he's only taking a segue of guys from Livingston to Uddingston. So I know people might go, "Oh, that's rubbish." That I think. This is a Piper drummer thing, right?
Yeah.
By and large, what I noticed is if the lead drummer goes, right, he's more than likely going to take his drummers with him.
Yeah.
Right? Because drum corps. Once you've fitted into a glove, right? Once
You
you've
spend
fitted
so
in
much
with a
time
lead
trying to
drummer,
adapt to their style and everything.
you,
It's
you're going to stay with them, right?
yeah,
You're pretty much going to become their guy, follower,
yeah,
and it's unlikely that you're going to, at a certain level. It's unlikely that you're going to kind of leave the pack, right? You're going to pretty much say, right, well you go in there, right? I'll come with. So
yeah,
I kind of get it, by the way. That's just
yeah.
the way the big ball bounces. Let's everybody just kind of dry our eyes, move on, and then obviously Les and Craig and all that can collect another kilt for somebody.
Yeah, that's
Um,
it.
don't mention kilts, right? We're done with that, right?
Oh, okay.
It's
Oh, a
no,
bit
it's
of
up. No, nothing to talk. Nothing to
nothing to
see
talk about
here.
here. Right.
Move on. We're still
Okay.
waiting on the outcome. We're still waiting on the outcome of the kilt. The
The kilt
kilt
making
gate.
venture.
We'll call kilt gate, right? That's what we're going to call it.
Kilt
Kilt
gate,
gate.
yes. So
Yeah,
this
kilt
is the
gate.
newest
Right.
pipe band
So
controversy you might not have heard of yet.
listen, you don't need to know about it now, but I'm sure it'll all blow over in the not too distant future, and then we'll be able to sit down and have a nice adult chat about it and explain everything about it.
We'll just laugh
Right?
about it. We'll be laughing about it.
Sure,
Yeah. Nice.
it'll be in. We'll have a laugh about it, right? Anyway, so without further ado, let's think about who or whom
Yeah.
we've got on the show tonight.
Well, you've just mentioned our previous guests. We've had Craig Laurie, we've had Les Gilbraith, and the trifecta
Yeah,
of that appearance 6 months ago. It is only complete
yeah.
with Mister Davey Sheridan. Davey Sheridan, jump on the
David
show,
Sheridan,
mate.
come on down.
Welcome to the show, Mister Davey Sheridan. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. Yourselves?
Very well, very
Great.
well.
Good to see you again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time we seen you 6 months ago. Does it probably doesn't feel like that long, does it? But it was just the weekend of the Worlds had been. I was hearing that you were heading to Perth in Australia.
Correct.
That is.
Correct. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. Nice.
I was over. I was over teaching and then playing with the band that I was teaching.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
How did it go?
It went
How did it go?
okay. I mean, the band has been trying to get off of the bottom place in their grade for long enough. So the goal was just to get them up into some kind of position that was acceptable, let's say. And a great bunch of guys and girls, and we had a great time. And we played some music, and it was good. So I think we finished fifth as a band out of about 8 or 9, which was probably
Right.
better than what they expected.
Nice.
Aye.
Thanks for coming out and
middle of the
spreading your
road, isn't
wisdom to little old Australia, mate.
I know.
We need it.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed
it?
it.
Right, let's get into the meat and two veg here, right? So, bottom line, Burgh of Annan, right? So, before we start talking about the band that you're in at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a wee bit about your background, because there'll be people out there that might not know who you are. So, where did you start your drumming? Who was your first kind of drum tutor instructor guy?
God, this has got to make me feel old and sound old. So I started with the Royal Borough of Dumfries pipe band.
Right.
When I was 11-year-old. I actually started on tenor, and I played my first season on tenor, but the goal was always to be on snare. So kind of fast-tracked onto snare. Round about 14-year-old became the leading drummer of the band. Which was a non-competing band. They were just a gala band, parade band. And then played in my first solo competition, which was the branch solos at age 15. And I won them. And as soon as I got that, believe it or not, my woodwork teacher at school said to me, I'm the leading drummer of a grade 1 band, and I want you to come and play in it.
Huge.
So at 15-year-old, I left a non-competing band in grade 4B, let's say, and I had 6 months to learn the repertoire for a grade 1 band and play in it, which I did.
Who was it?
And then it was really, really, like, seriously taxing on your time, your energy. At that stage, I didn't read music.
Wow.
everything was done by ear, and it was a real baptism of fire.
Talk about hit the ground running, man. Far out.
Yeah. So played in that band, which was called the Annan Ex-Service Club Pipe Band, another Annan band.
Yeah.
I went into grade 2. I became the lead drummer in grade 2 with the band. I played there for, as I say, 8 years, about 4 of which was the lead drummer. Left there and joined David Travel, grade 1 in Glasgow. Played there for about 5-6 years. Left there, came back to Dumfries, joined Dumfries and Galloway Constabulary. First year I played under Norrie Thompson, who was my woodwork teacher and also the lead drummer of the ex-service club back in the day. And then I became lead drummer after that first year was finished, and I stayed there for 8 years. And then on to Strathclyde Police with Eric Ward, back doing a little bit on my own, back to Strathclyde again, and then back to Annan where it all started in winter of 2018, season 2019. And that's me up to present day.
Playing me, obviously one of the most kind of notable cores. Not saying that any of them weren't, other ones weren't, but the most kind of notable core was obviously Eric scored with Strathclyde Police. I mean, I take it, did you feel that was probably, as a guy getting to be in that core and beside Eric, do you think you thought, I would have thought, if it was me, I would have thought I would have been walking about with a t-shirt saying I'm in Eric's core or something like that. I would have had everybody in the world, oh, by the way, I play with Eric. Oh, I play with Eric, by the way.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it was quite surreal how it came about. I finished up with Dumfries and Galloway on the Sunday after Cowell games. Myself and the pipe major basically decided we were going to retire for pipe band, competitive pipe band competition, and I went back to school on the Monday teaching drums as normal, and I had a missed call, and then I had another missed call, and then Les Gilbraith texts me, and Les says, "Have you had a few missed calls?" I was like, "Yeah." He says, "It's Eric Ward. He wants to speak to you." And I was like, "All right, okay." So on my lunch break, I phoned Eric, and Eric basically laid it out on the table that he had a space in his drum corps and he thought I could fit it. So I said to him at that time, I kind of said to my wife I was going to take a year out, at least a year. So I said, "Look, can I have a wee bit of time to think about it and do what I need to do?" And he's like, "Aye, totally." And the one thing about Eric right across the board was he was very relaxed. So there was nothing pushing with Eric at all. So after a couple of weeks, I decided I was going to Strathclyde, and that was it. So I phoned Eric back up and I said, "Look, I'd love to take you up on your offer," and that was it. But I mean, back to what you asked at the start there, did he feel like he'd made it? I know, really, in a roundabout way. When I got there and I was sitting around the table with all these notable drummers, I was thinking, "Oh man, am I out of my depth here?" But then Eric had a way of just explaining things as he was delivering them. Really intense tunes with intense drum scores, but he never ever made it feel like it was difficult. So for me, I just went with the flow. And when I walked onto my first major, I didn't even know I was there. I just walked on and played.
Yeah, brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Superb. Right. That's a bit of the back. It's like the backstory, isn't it? It's like the background backstory. Right, let's
talk like.
let's fixate on the now. So you're off flavour of the month at the minute, right? So obviously, congratulations on your success.
3 in a row.
Scottish, yeah, and you're on it. You're on a kind of roll now, and the momentum. Mm-hmm. Momentum brings the momentum of winning brings the momentum of winning, doesn't it? So here's the big thing I'd like to say is what was you've been kind of ticking away. How many side drummers have you got at the minute? I know you've got quite a healthy core.
We've got 11 snare drummers.
Right, and how many tenors have you got?
4 tenors and a bass. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, at what point? When did you can I get the kind of, when did you start back with Annan? Because when did you start back? What kind of year? But prior to this year, did you start to think, you know what I mean, the core? Because there's kind of new faces in the core as well that I've noticed. There's been a kind of, there's kind of been a wee bit of shift in kind of personalities, and obviously that brings with it a freshness, a different kind of outlook. So when did you start? You know, what I mean, when did you start corralling these new people into the kind of the fold?
To be honest, it kind of happens every season.
Yep.
You lose players for whatever reasons, and then you start getting players of interest making contact with you and saying, would it be possible to come down and try out for the band? And I never turn anybody away as such. I would always give everybody a fair chance. So usually my reply to that would be, come down to the band hall, see how you fit. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it's a funny story, Andy, actually, because round about Christmas time, I was actually sitting with 13 snare drummers and no bass.
Wow.
So we lost our bass drummer last year. We only had him for a year, and that was always going to be the case. And I advertised and couldn't get a bass drummer. So anyway, long story short, I sat around with these 13 snare drummers playing 2 MSRs and a medley and whatever else. And I said, guys, this is going really, really well. I think we've got a great opportunity for next season, but we've not got a bass drum, so we'll not be out. Have a think about that. So within that week of that practice to the next practice, 2 of my snare drummers made contact with me saying, look, I'll take the bass.
Yeah.
So we actually nominated one of them to take the bass, and she was doing a great job. And then from nowhere, the bass drummer we've got now came in March, believe it or not. He was with another band and stuff happened, and that was it. So anyway, he said, look, is there any chance? I said, well, look, we've got a bass drummer. She's doing a great job, but she's a snare drummer. So come in, see how we get on. So anyway, long and short, it was the 13 snare drummers became 11, and we got the bass drummer in. So that's how it came about.
So, see when you've got your guys round, right? What would you say is your kind of? I mean, this is a kind of odd question, right? So you're like that, you know, come down to the band, and if it's the good fit for you, it's good fit for us, blah 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 blah, right? However, right, as a lead drummer, right, how would you describe your leadership? How would you describe yourself as? How do you try and maximise the best out your core?
You know something, I've tried to analyse this hundreds of times and I can't, but I think I've took a wee bit from everybody that I've worked with in the years, being Eric, Norrie, there was a big guy, Colin Smith, Gary Killen at David Urquhart Travel. I've watched all their leadership skills and management kind of, I don't know, formula, for want of a better word. And I've tried to pick the best out of what they have done or what they did. But if somebody was to say to me just now, how are you as a leader? I think first and foremost, I need to know everybody in my drum corps. So I like to know like what hobbies they do away from band, like to know what kids they've got, what they do for a job. Because for me to understand how they operate, I've got to understand them. So first and foremost, that's my first port of call. Get to know the person, get to know and get a trust with them, and then with that comes like a friendship, and I always try and become friends with everybody in my drum corps, like straight away, so that they don't feel like they can't come to me if they've got a problem or if they're struggling or whatever it is. But on the day of contest, obviously I've got a job to do, and I've got to be super focused. So I've probably got a different hat on the day of a contest to what I've got in a band hall. In a band hall, I'm the shoulder to cry on. I'm the guy who, like, understands when you can't make it because you've been asked to do extra time at work or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But on the day of contest, I can't let that become part of me. I've got to kind of almost take a step back and say, right, what's best for the team here? What have I got to do here to make this as good as it can be?
Yeah.
So it's a juggling act. It really is. You're keeping a lot of plates spinning all the time.
Bearing in mind that pipe band it's a voluntary activity. It's people's hobby. People are coming
Yeah.
and doing it. Have you ever
Yeah.
found that there's been a lead tip that hasn't gone for the kind of friend approach, and that personal approach?
I
they're
think I
just
know that guy.
Is that you, Andy?
just a
Not at
disciplinarian from
all.
the get-go.
Not at
Takes a
all.
different bus and
Yeah, I totally. I know. I, listen, I know that there's guys out there that treat it like another extension of a job.
yeah,
And I'm teaching. I'm teaching in schools for 12 and a half hours a week, and that's not including any online lessons and whatever else I do. It's so easy for it to get clouded and it to become part of your job.
yeah,
But but what changes is, and I've always had it in every drum corps that I've ever had, is the banter. You've got to have good camaraderie, good friendship, and good banter.
yeah,
And sometimes I get it tight for some of the drummers in the corps about different things. Just because I'm the leader doesn't mean to say I can't
yeah,
be I can't be slagged off. So,
yeah, yeah.
and I think that's crucial because you win and lose as a team, and I think you've got to make sure that everybody in that drum corps feels part of that team,
Yeah,
you know.
solid.
Which schools are you teaching in at the minute, or can you tell us?
Yeah. I'm teaching right now. I'm teaching in three schools. So two secondary schools, Wallace Hall Academy, and also Northwest Campus, which is a mixture of three schools, which is two primary schools and a secondary, and I do the two primary schools in there. However, after the summer holidays, after the Worlds, I'm taking on a new school in the area, so a lot of interest there. So we're going to try and get in there and get piping and drumming into the school.
Is that, and I take it that's out on the borders, Davey, aye?
Yeah, it's all Dumfries and Galloway, but really, in essence, I'm probably within a 20 to 25 mile radius of my house for all the schools that I teach in.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So here's another question, right? So when it's coming to quite a lot of people that are, I would say, prolific drummers or drummers that are commanding like successful corps. It tends to be that obviously they've got some sort of teaching element. They're either teaching online, they've obviously got their own corps to teach, but also they're involved in schools and doing schoolwork, which I'm a massive fan of, right? Because I think I'm looking back to when I started drumming, and I think that the actual standard of pipe band drumming has massively increased. And I think that's down. And I think that's down to it permeating through the schools. And you've got obviously guys like yourself, and I know that like other people are involved in other schools, and it's kind of spreading the magic about. And we're not getting. I don't want to be cruel to drumming instructors of the past, of latter years, right? We've all known some of them that were a bit just not very good, right?
Yep.
But no very good is what you've got to take when there's nothing as an alternative. So I'm not overly criticising them when they were taking their own time out and they weren't doing it the same way as which is getting done now. But the point is, with the schools, you've only got a limited amount of time with the kids, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you do like subdivision of groups? Maybe children that are more in tuned to the left hand side of their brain, where they're kind of maybe higher functioning at the drumming, or do you try and just sit or is it a crazy situation of sitting everybody down the 36 veins and going like, right, ma, me, dad, day? Do you know what I mean? How do you do it? Do you do like, well, have a wee subsection here, a wee bit there? Maybe you should maybe think about some. You know what I mean?
That's more like it. I mean, initially going into a new school, for example, or let's say new pupils within a school you're in, you'll get vast numbers. I mean, silly numbers. It's not unheard of for me to have 30, 40 kids
Wow.
to take. And so you split them up into groups to start with, maybe groups of like 4 or 5, and then all the time while you're teaching and you're watching, you're continually assessing the kids that are maybe finding it a little bit easier than the rest.
Yeah.
Then kind of cherry picking them out of the group and putting them into another group, so that the kind of, I don't know, the elite drummers, let's say, for example, are in one group, and then maybe intermediate and then beginners, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it. But I've always found it's a weird thing, because I've had some really good students over the years, but I've always found that a good relationship with the parents is crucial. And so, like, after maybe, I don't know, maybe let's say 2 terms, they've had a good number of lessons. You usually then try and make contact with the parents, because usually that's how you would send recordings.
Yeah.
Obviously can't send them to the kids,
Yeah,
so you would get an
100%.
email. So you start making contact with the parents and saying, listen, your wee Joy is doing really, really well here. He's excelling in his group, and try and get a buy-in for the parents, because then you can ask them to come to additional lessons out with school, maybe some activities where we're getting these kids together to maybe talk about being in a pipe band, and then just take it from there. But I mean, the whole ethos of why I went back to Annan, there was 2 reasons. When I left Annan the first time,
tax evasion. I don't think they pay the same tax in Annan. It's like the same country or something like that. Tax evasion in Annan or something. I'm going to start spreading that rumour.
when I left the first time to go to David Urquhart, it was not a great reception I got when I said I was leaving. Right. I done it at the AGM, and one of the things I did say was, look, I'm the leading drummer and I've nothing left to give. I need to go and learn some more, and then I will definitely bring it back, and I will finish playing in Annan, and I will. So that, and also teaching these kids, some of them have had P5 to 6 year, they were getting to a really high standard. They were going to the World Solos and they were getting placed in the top 6. And I was like, I need somewhere for these kids to go, because when the school band finishes at 18, they were falling off the perch and they were going away and doing other stuff.
Yeah.
So I decided to take on Annan again and bring a lot of my senior students with me. And when we won the Worlds in 23, there was 4 of my students were in that drum corps. And for me, that was the icing on the cake. Away from winning the Worlds, it was the fact that I taught them from scratch, and they had eventually got into the drum corps and won the biggest championship out.
Mate, tell me you didn't shed a tear. Far out. Hey, so can you just help me for our international listeners here, fill this knowledge gap I've got, right? So in Scottish schools, you've got people teaching pipe band ensembles.
Yes.
And are these kids kind of, lack of a better word, forced to do it? Is it like
get in there, you got to Davey Sheridan. If you don't behave yourself, send you to Davey Sheridan's office. Get a sticks in your hand, that'll teach.
No, it's a weird one because I've been on both sides of the coin. So way back, I was employed by the council as an instructor in the schools, and then they stopped tuition for piping and drumming in Dumfries and Galloway schools from the council itself, and then a private organisation, which is a charity, decided to set up tuition for kids, and they asked me if I would be interested in continuing what I'd done through the council, so I did. And then I went back into schools on a private agreement with the school.
Yeah.
Still working in the school kind of umbrella, and all the conditions that comes with that. But from a funding point of view, we don't get any funding at all, or very little funding from the council. We self-fund.
Yeah, because it's a massive contributor to keeping pipe banding alive. I mean, just at the very least.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can maybe interrupt a wee bit early there. It's a massive thing. I'm a massive fan of it, right? I think that really, in reality, the best performers that we're going to end up getting in the future's obviously the kids that are getting taught at the schools.
Yeah.
It's a great leveler. It's a great outlet. I can't back it enough. It's fantastic. However, enough of the schools. I'm going to come back to you in the band, right? And here's my question. Okay. Right, drums. What drums he's using?
We're on Andante drums. We have been since my second year of taking over, so that would be 2020. So this is our second drum corps of Andantes.
Okay. So how old's the drums that you've got now?
2-year-old.
Right. So here's the next question, right? So 2-year-old drums. Here's my question, right? I'm going to ask it because folk might poo-poo this question, right? How long do you think you get out of your drums? It doesn't matter about Andante or Premier, but how long would you say, do you know what? I'm sick of the tiger striped drums that we've got. I want glitter ball Vegas drums now. But buying that, forget that. That's a bit tongue in cheek. What I mean is sound quality, right? So what kind of duration would you say? I think it's about time we moved on for the drums.
Aye. I mean, I didn't have a specific time scale on it at all. How it came about for the drums that we changed was somebody showed interest in our drums, so decided to sell them and change the colour and the setup slightly. But I mean, when I first went to Annan, the drums were 12-year-old. They were premiers and they were 12-year-old. There was nothing. Well, I say there was nothing wrong with the drums. They were obviously tarnished because they'd been played for 12 years. But the actual drums themselves were still in very good condition. They still sounded very well. And they were great, you know. But they had been played for 12 years. So we decided, like, wait a wee minute here. We need to just move on, you know. And we looked at all our options, and Andante came out as the best option. So that's how we ended up with Andantes.
No, it's fair enough. I don't have a lot of kind of. I really don't have a preference, right? I think the master of whoever's using them. So, for instance, Kerr's using Andante with Bog Hall. I love the sound that Fife Polish gets out of the premiers. So, I mean, I follow the adage as well. You know that you get that adage where folks say, "Oh, I think Andante's made an indoor drum," right? So, like for like solos, you get a better indoor sound. Blah blah blah. For that, but by and large, I think I can see the advantage because when you're talking about cost, you're talking about duration, you're talking about serviceability. Compatibility. So if you're dealing with, whoever your agent is and who's selling you the drums, I need this mechanism, I need this fixed and that. So I get that. So it's not, I don't necessarily preference Premier over Andante. I don't really necessarily have a preference. I think they've got to be held in the right hands, or a bad workman blames his tools, as it were. So I
totally
don't have
agree.
a preference.
Totally
I'm
agree.
just kind of curious. Yeah, I'm just curious about just the kind of durational thing. So I know that, like, if you get plenty of cash in the band, and you're like, what could we do? Even though you might have a set of drums that will be a year old, you're like, let's get the flaming wrath kind of effect on them.
Aye,
You can never change your drums enough. I don't think. Right? Just
no.
whatever kind of mood you're in at the time.
A change is as good as the rest.
That's the only reason I'm asking. That's the only reason I'm asking. You know. And all of a sudden you go, oh, they feel better.
Yeah.
Better. It's just a better response, you know, that because of flames lighting up the side. All that.
You change the rap and it sounds better. You're like,
You sell it to yourself. Oh, they match the kilt so much better.
It feels like
it. Look at these drums. They're turning heads. These drums are turning heads, man. No, right.
I had a question.
Moving on.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
Jeez.
Well, I mean,
no, go.
Yeah, this is about what's coming up. You know, we've talked about what's happened in the past, but with the World's only a couple of weeks away, and obviously 3 on the trot is a pretty good innings. What's the kind of mindset now for the band? Are you telling everyone, guys, just take a break, and go and enjoy your golf, or are you like, 9 hours of sleep every night? Like, what's happening?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes you can put too much pressure on a certain thing, and when you do that, it can have an adverse effect on everybody. So this season we've been very much just about keeping it really relaxed. Yeah. 9 times out of 10 we've had a practice off after the major that we've played it, especially if we've won. And it's like a recharge of the batteries, almost time for the guys and girls to spend a wee bit of family time and try and like regroup. But when it comes to the week of a major, and I can say this because I've done it quite several times, we do operate like a Grade 1 band. So we start on the Sunday. We do a double practice on the Sunday. We do a Tuesday. We do a Thursday. Some of the pipers meet up on a Friday for a sound check. It is a Grade 1 like build up to a major. So to allow us to do that, we tend to relax slightly. So right now, like we had a practice on Tuesday there, but really it wasn't much of a practice. It was just a get together, a wee tune. Very relaxed, and it was like, right, we'll see next Tuesday, So trying not to put too big an emphasis on what's coming,
Just load the prep.
Question for you. I've got a question for you because you alluded to the World, right? Friday. I believe that Friday now is going to be, are they taking some Grade 2 bands on the Friday? Or is that misinformation? Aye. So what's your thoughts on that? So we've went from, it was the schools, Grade 1, Friday, then Saturday. Now we're going to Friday for Grade 2 also, schools and Grade 1. Give me a breakup. Explain to me what you're thinking and what's going on.
So when the judges came out for the season and it didn't really say nothing about a qualifier on the Friday for Grade 2. So we asked the question, like, what happens, and I think it's 24 bands is the cut off, and there was there is 25 bands entered for Grade 2. So the RSPBA decided to have a qualifier on the Friday, 2 heats, 6 going through from each heat to a final on the Saturday, which I'll be honest with you, I cringed when I heard that. I was like, oh no. Because, well, for a start, in our band, we've got multiple school teachers. Some are Central Belt.
Right, okay.
It's our first week back.
Yeah.
Two of which are in their probation year, so they've got no kudos whatsoever to getting time off. So right away they said to me, Davey, Friday's out. I can't do Friday. So right away that's a sore head for me because one of them's a tenor drummer, so we've got to realign the tenors to suit that particular day. And then when the qualifiers came out, the heats were like, it was 2 heats. I think it's 12 in our heat and 13 in the other. And they're quite weighted, you know. When you see the heats, heat 1, I can't remember, but there's like at least 4 or 5 overseas bands in our heat.
Yeah.
And you look at it and you go, oh, right, that's going to be quite a tough day. You know, we need to get through by hook or by crook.
Can I just say something, right? So I was talking to somebody about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I totally understand the disposition that people are going to have, because Scottish Wains are all back. My wife's a school teacher, so she's back at work before the Worlds type thing. So I totally understand. And people that are go like normal jobs, etc., turning to the boss and going, "Aye, but it's a World Pipe Band Championship." He's like, "Stevie, I don't care, mate. Just get down that mine." You know what I mean? But right, listen, I mean, so I get that, right? But here's where I'm at with this, right? My personal bugbear, right, is the insane amount of time it takes people to go. This is a major, right? To get the bands weighted and measured, right, and then they trounce on this march past, and I think it's insanely long. I think it's an insanely long day, right? And it's an even longer wait to get told, you've got hee-haw. And I just think that seeing reality, right? I think so. My kind of rage get pulled at the where was I? Perth.
Sorry.
And I just thought there's a cleverer and more like a more exact way of doing it. I don't know. I'm not wanting. Well, my idea was like they're always standing there with a big massive screen, right? This is one of my things, right? They're standing there with a big massive screen, right? Now the winner's the winner, right? And there's runners up. Why do they not just turn around and go like grade 4, right? I'm not picking grade 4. It could be any grade, right? Grade 4, first, the big dramatic pause, McWackleton District, right? Everybody goes, yay! And then the runners up are, and then they just put on the screen, runners up are second place this, third place this, third, blah, 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 blah. Up he's coming to get the prize. And up they come. And if they don't make it, then they just go, right, that's it, moving on, grade 2. And there's so much time wasted. And people are standing there after. I mean, look, it's an extremely long day. It's an extremely competitive band like yourself. The pressure, the time, the hanging about, the time you get the slot, blah, blah, blah. And then you go, I just think, and then they expect folk like this. This is like an organisational type thing where you think you want people to come, enjoy it, and then no spend like to 8 and 9 o'clock at night there. I genuinely, I'm perplexed, but so long-winded way of saying it. I kind of agree and disagree, but I agree with the idea of trying to get quite a lot of the stuff done between the 2 days. Either they do a Saturday, Sunday, or they do a Friday, Saturday. But with the size and scale of the bands that turn up at the Worlds, me personally, people can disagree, but let me know in the comments, by the way. But I just think that they could balance it better. Where really, in reality, man, you should be out of there by 6:30 at night. Really, you should be done and dusted by 6:30, gone home and being up the road. I mean, some people are travelling for miles, obviously, but you know what I mean. Far too long.
The thing to remember as well, Andy, is on the Saturday of the Worlds, when it comes to the awards, the prizes, they also do the Champions of Champions, which takes more time. So, and then as you say, it's a long day, and then you've got that on top of it. Many's a time I've walked off a Glasgow Green in the dark or semi-dark with my drum to find a bus to try and get home. it's a weird thing, but I mean, there was Saturday there at the Scottish. I think the last band in Grade 2 played at 5 to 6 at night. Now, as bad as that seems, I thought that the actual prize giving was really quite quick on Saturday.
Good. Good.
I was standing. We got on with the mass bands, and I was standing. I thought, right, I need to nip to the toilet. So when I left to go to the toilet, the chieftain was doing the speech, and when I came back for the toilet, we were on Grade 3B. Now, I was like, I was listening. I went 3B. We're well, obviously 3A, and then Grade 2. I'm not that far away. I better get back to the band. By the time I found the band, they were on 3A. It seemed to happen really quite quickly. So I don't know if because the later slots for the bands to play made them condense the prize giving more. And I think that's what you're alluding to. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've been to prize givings before, right? And they feel like this non-person, right? Some counsellor, right? Some guy that nobody really knows, nobody cares about. They don't. Nobody in that park give a monkey's who this guy is. And then they stand up there and they go, I'd like to thank. Do you know what? 5 words or less, mate. 5 words or less. Thanks for coming. Cheerio, safe home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Aye. Yeah.
I'm the chieftain. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Great day. Enjoyed it. Bye. That's it.
Aye.
On to the prizes.
Yeah.
Great guy.
No.
Anyway.
No, you watch. One day later, he'll be invited to do it, and he'll take it up 14 minutes.
Oh, listen, see, if I was a chieftain, I'll be like that. And it was then at the age of 7 when I fell off my bicycle. Right, anyway, moving on.
Back in 1850.
Right, here's a question for you, right? Bands that you think are a bit of a challenge for you at the Worlds. Who have you got that you think they might be a bit saucy for us?
Aye. Well, I mean, obviously, domestically, we've done 4 championships. Average number in the grades 15, and we kind of know what everybody's doing, whether it be tune wise, sound wise, whatever. Yeah. So then it lends yourself to the overseas bands, which makes up that extra 10 places. At the Worlds, and listening to the recordings, some of these bands are sounding really, really good, you know. So like Ulster Scots, Dunedin, Bagger, Cap Caval. You know, they've no long since came down for Grade 1. So all these bands are putting up their recordings at their domestic championships. And it's like, wow, if you bring that across, then we've got a fight in our hands. And that's no disregarding anybody that's in our grade at the moment, because I walk around and I listen to the bands tuning up in Grade 2, and you know, some of the bands in our grade are really, really good. You know, they're like really solid, and you think, wow, they'll be a challenge today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, it's one of the things I for some reason, I can't remember where I was, but I heard City of Dunedin play their court, and I thought they had quite a liveliness about them, and I thought one for the watching. And I seen like I said, Ulster Scots out across in America or something like that, and I went, they're quite lively, and of course you can't. You know, every band you mentioned there, I'm like, I definitely. Anyway, as time marches on, although we'd like to stay and gab longer with you, I've got things on that I need to get down. But it's lovely having you on the show. Next time, I'm going to make you wear the T-shirt.
Well,
because you do that in the Pipe Band
you've
Club.
Got to give me the T-shirt.
I don't think they're. I don't think. Well, listen, I'll get you a T-shirt. Don't threaten us on the show, Davey.
I'll make it.
I'll make for it. Sure, I'll bring it up and I'll get it on video and all that. Look, this is me giving him the T-shirt.
Why does this happen with every guest we've got? Like,
well, You know what the mad thing
Where's
is?
my t-shirt?
Big Stevie turned up with his own. He turned up with his, didn't he, Stevie Crichton? But he turned up with the original gangster one that we gave him, right? And I was talking to him, and I was telling him a story about Stuart Sampson with the shirt and tie and all that. Was on the Pipe Band Club, and they made him wear the t-shirt at the top of it, right? And he was sitting there with a shirt and tie and a t-shirt on, and I went, this looks ridiculous, man. This is like kicking a blind man's cane away from him, man. What's going on? I was like, nah, that's no us. That's no us. You don't need to wear a t-shirt. Just throw it in the back of the cupboard or something. Use it for washing windies or something, or shining the bonnet of the motor. I don't care. Right, but we'll get you a t-shirt. All right.
Question for you guys.
Uh-oh.
Go.
How's the band going for the Worlds? The veterans.
Oh no.
Well, listen, this is a great question, right? Wait, no, this is a great question, right? Now, do you want me to tell you the truth or give you the answer that every pipe band that I ask, how did it play the day? And they all go, oh, well, we're really happy with that sound.
Tell me the truth, Andy. It's the only way.
Right, I'll tell you what, I'm very happy with the sound. What I would say is the back end, we've been disappointed with the lack of drummers.
Right.
So I'm looking at fielding 4 at the back, which I think's hamstringing me. So I'm disappointed with I've had hundreds of back slappers, you know. They'd like to come down, and I'm like, well, just come down. Don't tell me about you coming down. Just be there, right? Mm-hmm. So for that element, and I think that, and I genuinely think that a lot of people think that grade 3A is a grade 3A 30 years ago or 20 years ago. It's no. Grade 3A is a very competitive grade, and there's a lot of good cores in there. So, and I'm not saying that to try and be a smart guy or a smart aleck, right? I'm actually saying grade 3A is a very competitive core, very competitive grade with good cores in it, and you really do need some sort of substance at the back there. And I think that's where we're dry. We're dry because we're going to field 4 drummers, and I'm going to be averaging against maybe something between 7 and 10. So that's what I would say. However, we're still dynamite.
Either.
Still dynamite.
We're still dynamite, but we're still going to rock out there. Double barrel.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
Underdog story. Stay
Just play
tuned.
heavier sticks, you'll be fine.
You know what? We don't need heavier sticks. We've got guns, man. We've got guns.
Aye. Show them, man.
Right, Davey. Thanks very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, and I hope to see you soon.
Aye. I'll catch you at the Worlds, guys.
I see you over there, mate. For sure.
See you later,
Okay. See you later.